Okay, this is going to be a kind of tutorial walkthrough through the process on how you would go about, or how I would go about on modding tattoos on your Elden Ring character. I recently, my interest peaked kind of in that topic, and there's like no good, or there's like literally no video out there that shows you how to do it. Um, so I kind of just dove into it myself and just kind of figured out how to do it. And then since again there's no video, rarely like there's like one tattoo mod or something on Nexus mods. Like so, I just figured I'll do it myself. And just create a video that can kind of maybe help some people. I don't know. It's probably a very insanely niche topic as always. Um, I assume for this video that you know how to mod your game, meaning that you, like, you know of. I hope there's no fucking not safe for work shit shown up here. Like either you're using a mod loader or a mod engine too. I assume you know how to do that, and I assume you know what to do with like part binder files. How to please? What is this, man? Yeah, I assume you know how to mod your game or how to download and load mods into your game. I will not be covering that. I need to cut it close on as many corners as possible, since this will be an extremely long video. Nevertheless, anyways, it will be extremely long anyways. Okay, first things first. If you want to edit the game files, you need to actually unpack the game first, right? Maybe you've done that already. I hope you did. This would make it's not necessary actually. Like what you need is UXM selective unpacker. There's a tutorial. Like you can already see there's a tutorial here. There's a tutorial here. I watched this one. This is good. So I can probably link that, but like the short form is you just go here and just fucking download it, and then what you do with that is I could open it here. You open it up. It looks like this. I don't have the latest version, but also this doesn't matter. Why is it gone? And then you just search for your exe file, and like you hit browse and then search for your exe file, and then you just unpack it. It can take like 10 minutes, maybe more, depending on how good or bad your PC is. Yeah, that's how you do it. And then what you end up with is I saved this on a different drive, or because it's like what you do is you like normally there's a lot of stuff stored in this exe file, and it's kind of how do you say that? Dude, my brain is lagging already. How is this gonna work out, man? Like these folders are like packed inside the exe to just save space, I guess. Yeah, it's just yeah. That's probably the reason. I don't know. And by unpacking them, we just take all of the folders that we can normally never access that are in this exe file, and we have them here. So here's our parts list where we can find like any sword, any weapon, and also the skin textures. If you don't want to do that as a really good alternative for this, you can get this mod. I'm using this myself. Also fits well. Like if you want to tattoo your Elden Ring, or if you want to mod tattoos onto your Elden Ring character, nail polish always goes very well with tattoos. My experience. And then you can just go here, download like whatever you want, like fingernails or all nails, and then we can just look at this. Yeah, okay. We have a bunch of files here. I have this downloaded already. I'll talk about this later. What I guess I can make up, and these come in these like in these binder files, the .dcx files, and we can't normally open them. We need a program to unpack these files for us, which is gonna be Yabber or WitchyBND. I personally use Yabber. You can just get it off the GitHub link or Nexus mods. WitchyBND is just the same, like either Nexus mods or GitHub. Yeah, we can unpack these DCX files to actually like look into them. So yeah, we need this program, and then you need a program to actually draw something, right? I'm gonna be using Gimp. You could be using Photoshop, but I don't know how that would work out, since the texture files have to be in a very specific way. Like they have to. There's like compression methods or something. I believe it is. And it needs to be a very specific compression method, otherwise the skin will just totally be fucked up. The color, I mean by that. And so while using GIMP, we cannot naturally use this compression method. That's why if you're going to use GIMP like me, you also need paint.net. Literally paint.net, lol. And you can just get it for free here. Somewhere like here, probably here. I don't know. I don't remember when I downloaded it. It was a long time ago when I downloaded this. But what essentially paint.net allows us to do is we can use a compression method in GIMP that is recognized by paint.net. And then we can just open paint.net, we open the texture file, and then we just instantly save it with the correct compression method, so the game can actually, like, so the texture actually works in game. Yeah, so that's that. These are the programs we need. So GIMP, paint.net. If you use GIMP, maybe Photoshop can do that. What GIMP can't, I don't know. And Yabber or WitchyBND. I personally prefer Yabber, although I believe it's the older version, but it doesn't matter. And then I recommend this mod. It's easier, it's faster. Okay, so I downloaded this already. Got it right here in this zip file. Can delete this already. And let's only use the black ones. I just noticed that I need to change my mouse profile for this, because I just to make this all faster, I changed my mouse profile to be like this button to be delete and this one to be enter, just to kind of streamline the process of making these tattoos. Okay, we got this. And then we have our parts folder, and these would go into your parts folder in your mods folder in your mod engine folder. Okay, we have 6 different files here. And maybe I'll zoom in because it's kind of small. And these are for the different skin types. You can also see it's called FC_F_ and then a number. This is for the female body. I'm doing the female body mainly today, but the process will be the exact same for the male body. So F stands for female. I also downloaded a male to just show you that the texture just works the exact same way. Yeah, but essentially what this means is the 000 version is the young body, the young normal body, so the non-muscular young body. And then this is the mature version of the non-muscular body, and this is the old version, I believe. And then the 0-100 is the young muscular body, and these ones are the mature and the old muscular bodies. Essentially, I will not be using. I'll just show it how to do it with 2. You can do it with 6. It's not that much more work, but it's a little bit more work. But I just know I will never use these body types, right? So I don't even do it. Also, these files probably don't have this icon for you. That is because you have to go into right-click properties and then open Swift, and then you change that to Yabber or WitchyBND. I said I prefer Yabber. And what you can do is you can just open them like that, and then it unpacks these files for us to be folders instead of DCX files. You could also just drag it on here. I can show this in a second. And then we just click our way through all the way to this folder. And then we can see the folder file. This is going to be the model. I can open this to just show it. It's a little bit It looks pretty disturbing because the model always comes with all of the hair attached to it. I haven't really figured out how to like not display it and like yeah, whatever. Yeah, but this is the model. No, please leave me alone. And then we have the TPF file. This one will also just look like a file that you cannot open normally. And what you can also do is for the TPF file, you go right click properties and then open with Yabber and then apply. And as I said, you can also just drag this onto Yabber and then it will unpack this file for us. We can also delete this. Okay. Then next step. These DDS files will probably not have this little preview image for you. In order to fix that, is you go right click properties and open with paint.net. That's also like the other very useful thing about paint.net, because if you like have any other program, I don't think you can see the previews here. And also it just makes it faster if we can double click it and we open it in paint.net. So we have in most cases we have 3 textures here for any part binary file, for any kind of and then what this is the M file. This stands for metallic, I think. This is just like if you have some metallic like materials that like are supposed to shine, reflect, then you can just customize this here. I won't be doing that because I don't have any fucking clue about that shit. Same goes for the normals map. The N stands for normals. With that, you can manipulate the height of some things. For example, up here, there's the ear. The ear is obviously not just a flat area. There's height and yeah, you can do that with this file. I don't know how to do that, and I don't care. The only thing that's important for me or for this video here is I think the A stands for alpha, but that also just doesn't matter that much. This is going to be how you edit your texture. And you only have to edit this if you want to just edit some pictures or some tattoos onto your texture here. First things first, I'm going to hit Control and copy paste this. I do that with all the text, with all the part binary files I edit, just to have the original right here. So that, like, in a case that I want to revert some changes, I always have the original right here in this binary file, and I don't have to re-download the mod or some shit like that. So I really like to just copy this at least. If you're gonna edit this and this, and you should probably make a copy as well. It will like take a little bit, will take up a little bit more space in your mod engine mods folder, but I don't care about that. And then what we can do is we can open this with Gimp. Right click, open it with Gimp. Whenever you open a DDS file, you want to make sure that you have load mipmaps unchecked. Mipmaps. Did I say mipmaps? Whatever. And then open. And now we can already see the texture. It looks, for the first time seeing this, I was super confused, but I will make some sense of it in a second here. Yeah, I can do that now actually. For that, I'm gonna use Blender. I have no idea how to use Blender. I barely managed to get this texture on here, on the model, but it helps me a tiny bit to showcase how the texture wraps around the model, so to say. Okay, so here we have our model. It's really bugged, but I can show a few things. So, like you see, this is obviously bugged. I don't know how to fix it again. I have no clue how to use Blender, and honestly, I don't care that much. But on this left side here, we have the texture. Let's start at the top left. We have the ear. This makes a lot of sense. And what you can also see is that it is mirrored. That is the case for nearly all of the textures or the body parts. We only ever have the left side. So we only have one left leg, one left arm. The back is like kind of cut down the middle and mirrored. The only place where this doesn't is the case where this doesn't happen is the stomach and chest area. This is one big piece of texture, I guess, and there's nothing mirrored here. Anyway, so this is the ear, and what I can also like show already is whenever you see these things here, they are like borders. Like you wouldn't, like maybe you can see something here because it's bugged, but you wouldn't see it normally. You wouldn't see it. I can show this. This is I can give a little teaser. This is gonna be the leg, and if I draw a line up here, you can see how it disappears like right here. This is the end of this part of the body. So here we don't do anything. Okay, let's keep going with this spot here. You can, if you look carefully, you can make out some actual texture between these walls. This is going to be the head actually. It has a weird shape, but that is just because it's also mirrored down the middle. I can carefully try to do this here, and then we can see like this is going to be the place for the ear here, right? And then this is going to be the middle of the head, and then this is probably the top part here, right? Yes, this is going to be the back of the head. Not really a pro when it comes to anatomy, whatever. Like I can't even pronounce the word, man. Like I'm not good with it, especially not in English. So forgive me if I call something the wrong name. Okay, so then we have some walls here. It's really hard to see sometimes, but then we have like a big piece of texture here. It goes all the way down here and up here and then down here. What this is essentially, it starts in your upper chest area, which is going to be right here. You can see this barely stick out behind the box textures, but this is going to be a chest area. Then we go up here, this will be the neck area. And then this curve is going to be this one here. Like it wraps around the throat and connects. Up here is like, as I said, the back is cut down the middle and mirrored. This doesn't work because like it tries to paint the hair. But this one is cut down the middle. This will be this giant line here. I try to like kind of do this. This is the line. And again, this is the upper chest. It wraps around the neck. What this also means is that if we go further here, we make our way to the arm, which is going to be starting from here. Then we have, this is like the upper shoulder area. I don't know how you call that, but it's like this area. Oh yeah, you see that. Like this is probably easy if I just draw it on here. This is going to be that. So the dark spot is actually kind of like more on the backside. It's good to know. And then like you can kind of make out a darker circle here. This is just where the arm starts. And then we have this darker spot is like beneath the arms. And then it goes down like this, which is going to be here. And then obviously it goes towards the middle and connects there, and then it mirrors everything. If I draw like a dot here, it will be on both sides. It kind of looks like this hand sign. Now it looks like a pig. Okay, chill. Okay, and then the arm goes down here. This will be, all of this will be the arm. Again, it's kind of hard to see, but like it will be here, like this. This will be the arm. You can also see the elbow right here. Where the texture actually wraps around and connects is like on the inside of the arm. Like here would be, like if we just draw here a little bit, it won't, I guess the texture is kind of bugged. But like this one here and this one, this meets in the inside of your arm here. It goes down all the way towards the wrist, like this. Next up, we have this here. This is the inside of the hand. This works for a change. This, all of this here is the inside of the arm. I'm not sure if this works. Yeah, I haven't tested this yet. Never put a tattoo here. I guess it might work. Like if I wanted to put something on the wrist here, yeah, if you wanted to put something here on, like, it's hard to, because of my arm, I need to turn it. It would like kind of end up here ish. Okay, let's move on. This is obviously the chest area. Like, it goes up to like here. It doesn't go that high. That is because, like, where am I? Okay. As I said earlier, the upper chest area is already here. Because that kind of needs to wrap around. So there's like somewhere a line here where this is like, where's the edge of this texture and then this one starts. This one is pretty obvious. It also wraps around all the way until like here. You can see that it's like the very edge. And then it goes up like this, all the way up to here or something. Next up would be the hand. This is the outside. Now that up there was the inside, this is the outside. So if you want to put some tattoos here, it's very popular in I guess decently popular IRL. I got some as well. You can do that, you know. And these black spots are because of the mod, right? Like this apparently, I don't know what this is, but this apparently is the nails for our character. Here we see the foot, or like, yeah, one foot that obviously gets mirrored. When you look at this angle, this is kind of, it goes like this, and it kind of starts here and it expands, and it's like the top of your foot, of your feet, whatever. So this is going to be the top part, and then in both directions it just wraps around. Like one of that is going to be the inside, one of that is going to be the outside. I'm going to guess this is the outside because this is like a darker spot. Yep. And this is going to be the inside. Yeah. Okay. And then this is like the below, the sole. Call it that. I don't know. Don't care. And then this will be your legs and your hip part. So obviously this is a good spot to mirror it, or I like to put it together, but like here is going to be all the way the outside, and then the texture, like the edge will go down here again on the inside of the legs, all the way down to here where your feet texture begins. So this is obviously like the butt cheek, I guess. And then this is the kneecap. And then this will be the inside of the knee. How do you call that? I don't know. And then if you wanted to put a tattoo like here on this part of the body here, then you would have to kind of align it kind of here. That was actually pretty good. And then you want to align it with, like, I don't know, maybe this triangle of these blue. Is that, I don't know how you call these. I won't try. But you would have to align it like something like this. It's a shame it doesn't show, but like that's how it works. And then, yeah, this is going to be the front part of your leg, right? And then this is going to be like the genital area, whatever, like this. And then, yeah, this is going to be the inside of your leg again, like right here. Can I make this visible? It doesn't really show up here. I guess there it is. Okay. So if you wanted to put something in front here, then you would have to put it here. If you want to put something on the back, you put it here. If you want to put something on the side, you want to put it here. The upper leg is at an angle, but when it hits the knee, it starts being straight again. So this will be straight, this will be straight, this will be straight. This is how it works. I think I went over every single texture now, so we can just close this. Okay. Do I do basic controls in Gimp? You hit this button and you move, just to make it quickly. You hit control and zoom, or like scroll. You can zoom in and out. If you hit control and your mouse wheel button, you can zoom like this, kind of like a smoother zoom, more precise zoom. If you scroll up and If you scroll up and down. If you hit shift and scroll, you hit you scroll left and right. What I recommend you be very careful of, don't ever hit shift and press in the mouse wheel button and then move it. What is gonna happen is that you rotate the picture. And if you're like zoomed in really closely and see like the pixels, Gimp will just fucking die. Like it will be super, super slow. And like you have to somehow survive and press on view, flip and rotate, and reset, flip and rotate if that happens to you. So be very careful when you're like trying to move here. Don't hit shift in between, because then your fucking Gimp will just try to die on you. Is there any other basic controls I want to mention here? I don't know. Not really. Okay. Let's get into the main part here. The first thing I recommend you do is you should check if your PC can handle upscaling this texture. I don't know if this is like proper AI upscaling thing. I don't know. I don't care. It looks good enough when I do it, so I not really care. Since this image is only 1024 times 1024, which is kind of small, like if we wanted to make like a small tattoo here, it is really pixelated. This does look small, but it would be like a pretty decently sized tattoo. So what we can do to make this a little bit bigger is we can hit image, we can hit scale image, and then make sure this thing is connected. Just like make sure the aspect ratio stays the same. And then you can technically just, I don't know, put any number here. But if this was like, I just hit like twice, like times 2. So 48. And then I don't know what's best here. I didn't really look into it that much, but I just did this. It doesn't really look that much worse in game. I guess I could show it off. So now we successfully already scale up our skin texture, which is going to be really, really useful for like these smaller tattoos to just make them more detailed, less pixelated and stuff. So I recommend you try out if it works for you. Like I personally, I have to say my PC is incredibly strong. So I did not really notice any texture like FPS issues, but you might, so try it out first before you start working. Also, it's unfortunate that it's just raining here, because now we can in-game check how these textures split up, because like here you see these blind lines, and this is just what we talked about, right? This is the leg texture that meets in the middle and mirrors to the other side. This is the back texture that ends. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see like here it goes up here. They didn't really, they made a decent job hiding it when it's not raining, but when it's raining you can clearly see them. And also we see it. Can you go away? Yeah, this is the only part where I noticed the skin texture looking a little bit weird if you scale it up like that. And this is in your like stomach area. If I zoom in here, you see that it's like a, I hope it's visible, but it's like you can make out a line where the texture just looks a little bit different. But honestly, I don't give a shit, because like when I'm playing, I don't look at this fucking area, right? Yeah, you can see it. It's like a little bit different, but it's not really noticeable. For me, I don't care. I do not care, and that's why I just do it this way. Maybe you can find like a tool that can scale this image up with AI or some stuff and just make it look better that way. I don't care. Okay. First things first, I'm gonna save this after upscaling it. This will be like my workstation, I want to call it. It sounds a little bit goofy, but it's just, I don't know if there's a better name for it. Where the fuck am I? Okay, tutorial. And then we just save this here. Now we created an XCF file. This is just the GIMP file. What this does is like whenever you were to like export an image and open it up again, if you have like a few layers here, they will be gone. Like I guess yeah. If you merge them down, you cannot unmerge them. Like if you combine these two layers, you can never like unmerge them, unless you just don't merge them and keep them in like in this Gimp file, so to say. Like I just save this in a Gimp file. So if I close this, if I save, I should just press save. Press save here and close this, and I can open this again, and I still will have my my layers. And so how I create or how I adjust these tattoos is I make them here. I adjust the size, I adjust the color in this Gimp file, and then I open up these DDS files again and just drop the tattoos onto their already correctly scale and so on and so forth. Okay. Yeah, so what we can do here is I will just open this in a new window. Whoops. Open new window. I'll just open these two textures because these will be the two that I will be editing today. Open this to make it a proper folder. You can also delete this and then go into here. I didn't make a copy here yet. I will do that. This will be important for when I show you how to remove tattoos. If you like play with them for a little bit and you decide you don't like them anymore and you remove them. I already scaled this up to be 2048. You can already see this is like 1 megabyte, and this is 4 megabytes already. So it's like, it's also like roughly 4 times the pixels. So it's like kind of the difference between 1080 and 4K texture. I guess I don't have to do this now. Yeah, let's just do this in a second here. Let's just find a tattoo that we want to work with. I obviously have at this point a huge library of tattoos, or like pictures that I wanted to use or use for tattoos. I will just search out something nice and easy for now. What did I want to use for this? This one? Yeah, let's use this one. You can find images for tattoos like I literally just Google and just try to find anything. For example, like 02 tattoo templates or sites that are useful. Like I kind of find a lot on Pinterest. It's like kind of a super annoying site because it forces you to make an account. But it should be fine if you just instantly block the email address that always sends you shit. So yeah, that's how I do it, and just get most of my tattoos just from there. Yeah. And most of them also just have a really shitty quality, like this one here. Like this really stuff that's just on here that we don't want. But we will scale it to be really small, and then it doesn't matter. Also, yeah, try to pick pictures that, try to pick pictures that are easy to transform into a tattoo, I guess. Like, don't use super bright fan art. Like, you can do it, but it will be a lot harder than, for example, just the black and white art. This will be... Maybe I'll also do this one today. This one is a perfect picture, man. It's just white, just black. It's perfect. We can delete all of the white, then it will look great, and it will be easy. Okay, let's just start here. If you want an in-depth Gimp tutorial, like I'm not gonna do it. Not really that, because I'm not that good either. I'm just like trying out things until it works. So yeah. First things first, we want to remove the background. How do we do that? We have some tools up here. We have select by color, we have fuzzy select, and we have free select. Most of the time I'm just going to use select by color or fuzzy select. These are the easiest. And the difference between these two is if I press fuzzy select and I were to press, for example, in here, depending on how high the threshold is, I will explain that in a second. It will only pick something within these black lines, or like it will only pick similar colors that are together. Like it won't pick this, it won't pick this. If I use select by color, it doesn't care about like these borders. It will just across the picture just collect every single pixel that is within this threshold and select it for us. So this is the threshold right here. You can change that however you want. I guess, yeah. And you can select transparent areas or not. I will not check this for now. Sometimes it's useful for not right now. And then essentially what you want to do is you want to make like in order to make this like a clean cutout, to get all of this, like even this like slightly discolored like blue stuff or yellow stuff here, we want to have the threshold as high as possible without removing any like important stuff. For example, if the threshold is literally at 255, if you know about like how colors in the RGB format, I don't know what I'm talking about really, but work, but 255 is the absolute max. And this means that it will just collect everything. This means like at this point, white is similar enough to black for it to collect just everything. So if I hit this here and hit delete, it will just remove everything. So 255 is obviously too much. We can try 150 and see if it selects anything that we want to keep. Delete it. It looks okay. Like the lines are still here, as you can see. I could go down a little bit further. Just like yeah, you can see there's like a little bit that got cut out. So maybe let's try 100. And select none, then just re-hit the white, just left click it, and now yeah, I feel like we have more of our lines now than before. Okay, I like this. What we can do now is like if we were to now we want to create a layer that has a transparent background. Now you do that with selections, and just you copy and paste it. But if we do that now, obviously right now we have the background selected. In order to not do that, we want to right click, we want to hit the select option and click invert. You can also, I guess, use the shortcuts. I recommend you use as many shortcuts as possible because they save a lot of time. I use it a lot, but these ones are, I don't know, I haven't really incorporated them yet. So we want to hit invert, and before we had the backward round selected, now we have everything else selected. So if I now hit copy and paste and make this layer invisible, now we essentially have everything that we want here. These lines are pretty thin. I will do something about that in a second here. This method only really works with like simple tattoos, like easy symbols or some stuff like that. Where's this tattoo? There's like a really popular Tokyo Ghoul tattoo that like kind of every weep has. Where is it? Where is it? I know I saved it somewhere here in my folder. Ah, here it is. Opening Gimp. This one right here. If we wanted to, like, here the lines are also pretty thin. Select invert, copy paste, right? The lines are pretty thin. And what we can do about that is we can hit right click select. And if we go down here, we can do something with our selection. We can shrink it, we can grow it, we can make a border. In this case, we want to grow it, we want to make it thicker. And now we can determine how many pixels we want to increase this. So maybe let's start with 1, right? And now it grew, the selection grew in every direction by 1 pixel. And that's why I'm saying it's really, it's easier with like simple tattoos if if you do it that way. Also, this is kind of lost now. This is sometimes happens. I want to manipulate the canvas size. Make the canvas size bigger. I think this works. Yeah, okay. This actually works. So you want to increase the canvas size with image and then canvas size. You want to increase the canvas size, and then this like the layer before, this copy and paste layer was like just enough to cover these like what we're working with here, and now it seems to be the same size as this one here. And now the grow selection didn't like go outside of the yellow lines that we can work in, right? And then since this is like a really simple tattoo, what I can do is I can just take a really, really fat pencil and just hit that. And now the lines are like decently bigger. So that's how you can do that. Obviously, the more complicated the picture is, the more the less this actually works. So we do the same thing here. We canvas size. I think it's probably enough if we hit like this a few times and then center. Yeah, because that causes, I don't know. Again, I'm not a pro. I'm not really doing knowing what I'm doing here. I just kind of do what works. Now by increasing the canvas size, this yellow area we work in, that like was like the border of this layer is now moved all the way to the outside of the original layer, I guess. And now we could hit select. It's also up here. You can also right click here and hit select, grow, do it by 1 pixel. Okay. Again, with pictures it will be a lot harder. Yeah, but what we can do now is try to. Oops, that was too much. Way too much. Yo. Okay, see, this looks better now. This looks better. Okay, I'm trying to not hit any red spots here. Just get. I should do that with a smaller pencil. Same goes for up here. That was too much. I just need a smaller pencil. Just do all that. Probably. I probably do want to hit this line here. Okay. Oops, that was not what I wanted to do. Fuck, I delete so much. That's also a thing if you're drawing shit. Like, let go of the left mouse button once in a while, because if you wanna undo that shit, you will undo everything until like the last part. Last time you lifted up your left mouse button. Start out with easy. I guess I could like kind of draw some shit here, but I'm kind of bad at drawing. But I warned you, this will not be a Gimp tutorial. This is the wrong color. So just leave this gap here. Yeah, scratch that idea. Just I guess I could kind of like throw this in here. Maybe I'll try this. Whatever. How am I gonna make this bigger? I don't know. I'll just try something. That's what I always do. Just draw the outlines, and then we don't need this selection anymore since we already like painted everything. We can select none. Now we can select with the free select tools. Like you just draw. You can also hit like let go of it and like put these lines here. I'm gonna select this red part. I'm gonna copy and paste that to be its own layer like this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to transform that. You can right click over here. These are all your transform tools. I'll try the handle transform right now. The handle transform essentially gives you 3 points you have to place down. And these act like anchors. And I can pull on this point and these two will like hold the texture there as like anchors. So I can do something like this to make this bigger. And hit M. You can also just transform, but I made it a habit to always press M to get back to my mover tool. And get something like this. It does look decent in my opinion. It does look decent. Maybe move it a little bit. Also, you can rotate it with, you should probably use the shortcuts. Something like this. Looks good enough for how small it is gonna be. Also, when you transform something, it tries to make this its own layer. And you should just hit this here to actually create this layer. And now we can delete this because there's nothing on here anymore. Because it just moved up to the transformation. And yeah, I think now we're pretty much done with what I wanted to do. We can also merge this down now. Merging you do with this one here. Just combine these two layers. Just like this. And now we can actually just drag this layer onto here and place this tattoo somewhere. I think I'm gonna place it on this shoulder part here. Actually, I also have something kind of prepared for myself here that helps me align that a little bit. I just will make a short cut and then I will be back with the little help I made myself. I don't know. Okay, we're back. I just dropped in this layer real quick. I made this so I don't have to align these tattoos here. It's just a little bit easier for me in this tutorial. You will probably just have to figure it out anyways, how you want it to sit. Like maybe you want it to be not 100% like in a straight or in like a 90-degree angle to your leg or whatever. So, but this would be like if you want it to be in the middle of the back side of your leg, this will be the front. It works like this. This is the arm. This is like the upper arm part. This will, you want to align it like kind of in this angle. In my opinion, in my experience, it's not 45 degrees. It's like 41 degrees or something. And I don't know what that is actually. This is again this part here. So we don't want to go above that if we want to tattoo the arm, and this is just kind of the I don't know why I did this line, to be honest. What we can do is we can drop down the opacity a little bit so it doesn't get in the way of things. And now we just start moving it around until we're happy. Essentially, we can start with the rotate tool again. Use the shortcuts, they save a lot of time. If I hover here, I can see Shift R for rotate. Makes sense. R like rotate. Also, make sure you select the correct layer. What you can do if you don't want to accidentally hit the wrong layer and move it or anything, you can hit these locks in. So now the position is locked of the extra skin texture, and now the color is locked of the extra skin texture. I can do the same for this little overlay I made myself. Okay, now we want to rotate it. You can do it up here. You can also like drag it. If you hold Shift, it will always be in like 15 degrees increments or something. So you can see like 30 degrees is not quite there. If we go one further, this will be 45 degrees, also not right there. So I guess minus. What I do is minus 41 degrees, and this works. And then you can hit this to confirm. You can also hit M to, I guess it doesn't work right now. It usually works, I don't know. And then it is also quite fucking big. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna hit the scale tool with Shift S. S like scale, makes sense. Here we have two options that are kind of important. If we click this, like you don't have to click it, you can also just always press the buttons to uncheck the box mid scaling. So if I start scaling here and then I hit Control, that changes the around center option. Like if this box is checked, it will scale around center. If it's unchecked, it will always scale to like the opposite corner where you grab it, right? If I scale it here, it will go towards this corner. If I scale it here, it will go towards this. It's not a corner, but like towards this little square. Let's undo this. So for now, I want to keep the aspect ratio, so I can just hit this because I don't always want to press Control. And that's actually around center, so I want to actually hit this. I don't always want to press Shift. And now it will just become smaller around center. You can probably uncheck this and always press Shift. So that's how I set it up. I have to press Control if I don't want it to be around the center, because like around the center is usually the option you want to have. And then if I want to keep the aspect ratio, I just hit Shift. You can do that however you want that to be. Also, you can preview the image here. Obviously, this is checked for me. You can like change the opacity of the preview, but I don't really care. So I Shift now to have this fixed aspect ratio. I want to make it smaller. And this is actually my second take, because I was feeling a little bit down yesterday. I had like a headache. I wasn't feeling well, but I recorded the video anyways, and it didn't turn out too good. Surprise, surprise. And then now I'm just doing it again. And from yesterday, I learned that this is in-game. Right now, it looks pretty normal, but in-game, it looks like really tall. So what I'm going to do here, I forgot it. I'm going to go back to the rotate, because like it's easier to scale this down while it's still like like not rotated yet, I guess. So now I want to make this just not as tall, basically. Now it will look weird, but in-game it will look better. Like this. And now we rotate it again. We hit minus 41 degrees. Hit M. And now I will also think this might not be the actual middle here. I think I want to have it like a little bit more to the left. And now we hit Scale, Shift S. And we hit Shift and Control to scale it down the middle and keep the aspect ratio like this. Maybe go up a little bit. I don't want it to be too far up though. Okay. I think I'm gonna try this out now and just walk you through the process of how you get this onto the actual texture now, because this is just my workstation. I won't export it from here. Also, one thing, if you have color in your tattoo, it will most likely be too bright in game. It will look like a weird sticker that someone like fucking put onto your skin. It looks way too bright. It looks unnatural. I will show it in a second how it looks when it's just too bright. What you can do to make it look more like a tattoo, like a realistic tattoo, you can always go brightness and always just go all the way down. Go all the way down. It looks a little bit dark here. If I zoom in, it looks a little bit dark, but in game it will look way, way more like an actual tattoo would look. Okay, now I'm going to close this for now, and now I will open these two textures. Again, make sure this is unchecked. We don't want the maps to load, I guess, and open. And then we do this again for this one. This one is not scaled up yet to 2048, so I'll have to do that, right? It's just still 1024, and this is actually important, because what we can do is if we just like copy it and paste it this thing, it will just be somewhere. What we can do is, because these two pictures have the exact same dimensions, that is 2048 times 2048, we can grab this layer, grab it here, and then move it up here and hover over the picture and then drop it onto your layer list here, and then it will have the exact same position. This will only work if it's the same, like if it's the same size, right? If I pull this over here to the non-scale picture, it will be not in the correct place. So I just undo this, and I will also scale this to 2048 scale. And now I can pull this over. And now if you want to, you can do this with however many skin textures you want. If you want to edit all 6 of them, you can do that. If you wanted to edit all 6 female body textures and the male ones as well, you could do that too, because the it will just kind of look a little bit weird maybe, because like it's probably not exactly the same. But let's open this real quick. Here, this is the male texture. But as you can see, it's still it actually might be like a tiny bit different from what I can see, but this is still going to be the neck area, or like the chest area into the neck area into the back area. This will still be the arm. This is the chest. This is still the feet here. This is still the hand, the outside of the hand. This is still the inside of the hand. And then here we still have the legs. I don't know how to control. I don't know how to. Okay. I just don't know what this. I guess it just goes all the way up here. Oh, maybe. Yeah, no, the legs go all the way up here, I think. Because this would be, yeah, I think the legs go all the way up here for the male. So you might not be able to just drag and drop it onto the male model as well, but yeah, I don't care at least. Okay, but again, if you wanted to edit all 6 female textures, you could also drop this onto the next ones. What we're gonna do now is if we just export this, it will now work. Like if I hit the shortcut for exporting is Control-Shift-E. That's why I enabled the keyboard viewer, so it's easier to see the shortcuts happening. And then this is the shortcut for export as. Now we wanted to replace the original texture. That's why I made the copy. So I can always replace it without having to fear that it gets lost, because I have the copy as backup. And then I want to export. I press enter here. Then it asks me, do I really want to replace this? And I press enter again. And now we are dealing with the stuff I explained earlier. We need the correct compression method. Again, this doesn't have the correct one we want for Elden Ring to work. But we will do that in a second here in paint.net. Also make sure you have generate bitmaps on. That's just how I learned it. I don't know. I never tried it without. It works for me. So I never change running system, right? What you can do if you edited this, you can also save the settings like I did. Then I don't have to, because it doesn't save them by itself. Like you always have to pick here, go into here, and also pick the right thing. If I pick this and export it, the next time I want to export it, it won't be pre-selected, right? So I save the settings, and then I always hit load settings. It is this one here. We want to have BC3/DXT5. And then I save the settings, and then you don't always have to go up here, and then we just press here and here. And now, if we're doing it this way, you can already see it's completely fucked up. There's no texture anymore. There's just this layer. That's why before exporting, always merge down all of the tattoos onto your texture. This button down here, merge it down. Yep. And now we can hit Control-Shift-E again, press double enter, press load save settings, or select BC3/DXT5 and hit export. And I'll do the same for the other image right now, merge it down, hit Control-Shift-Enter, or E, not enter, and then press double enter, press load save settings, export. Okay, we did that. Now, if we were to load into Elden Ring now with the wrong compression method, I could show it now, but it will take time. Just trust me, it will be like, it will not be the correct color. It will be like extremely bright. It will just be white, literally white, not this color, like this. I don't know how you call that. Not this skin-ish type of color. It will be extremely like white, like white, like this white here, this one. Like, I could show it just to show it. Yeah, okay. And then let's skip this step for now just to show it, but normally you would open it in Paint. I will do that in a second here, but I want to show this to make a point. Now what you do is the game doesn't recognize this folder. It does need to be a TPF file. How do we do that? We just pull it back onto the Yabber, and it will repack it for us into a TPF file. Then we go back into here, and then we grab the entire parts binder folder, and we drag it onto Yabber. That's why it's extremely useful to have it on your desktop. And then it repacks that into a DCX file for us, and then we can cut that out and paste it into the mods folder. And now, see, this is the normal color because I saved it in Paint before. Now I didn't. And now it will look extremely scuffed because I didn't do it. Yep. It looks like I mean, you could do that in game, but like, I don't know. Yeah, that happens when you don't save it in Paint. I didn't look at the tattoo, but whatever. So what we do after we exported it in Gimp, we double click because before we selected that the main program to open these files is Paint. So double clicking works now. And now we want to go File and Save As. The shortcut here is Control-Shift-S. And then we hit Enter. Same thing again. It asks us if we want to replace it, and we press Yes. And then here is the compression method we want. It is this one here, BC7 sRGB DX11 Plus. And all of this should technically, yeah, it should look like this. It should be the normal, it should also be the default settings. And then we hit OK. And then we do that for the other image as well. And then hit Control-Shift-S, press Enter, press Yes, press... This one like pre-selects the last option. So here we can also just spam Enter. It's not like Gimp, it's a little bit smarter. And then we drag both of these for both the skin textures onto the Yabber to make the TPF files again. And then we grab both of these, grab both of them onto the Yabber. Select both of these, hit cut, hit paste, bam. I have to quit out again here, I don't know. No, it works. And we have our tattoo. Okay, let's see how it looks. The lines could be a little bit thicker. It's pretty big. I could make it a little bit smaller, but you see, now it has like decent proportions, even though I kind of shrank it together. I don't know. Is that how you say that? Yeah, but overall I think it looks pretty good. The red is pretty bright, but it's a small spot, so it's not as noticeable. Compared to like a big bright red spot, right? It looks okay. What we can do is, if we want to make the lines a little bit bigger, we can use the exposure tool. It's up here with colors, where I showed you the brightness option before. Exposure is the other option of how we can make stuff darker. First things first, if you have mode replace, it doesn't work. It looks like it works, but it doesn't. Like if I edit this here, if you pull the black level up, you have like this really cool effect of like, I don't want to call it a dirty tattoo, but I'm also not like super knowledgeable on tattoos. I got a few, but that's all. But I think when the tattoo artist like overworks your skin and just pumps too much fucking color in there, it can start to bleed out, and you can get this this effect. Reminds me of this bleed out effect, right? The black grows a little bit, some details get lost. Also, you have this, like, it looks more intense, and that's kind of, when I look at that, I think of, oh, it's like a bleeding out color. Just, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if that's the right term for that, but I think you get my point. Just to make this, you see you can hit the preview here to just see the difference. Now, and also I recommend finish one tattoo before you close down Gimp. Like, if you have this, it'll be like kind of painful, because if I close this down now, I can't unmerge this. If I close this down, I can only undo it while I still have it open, unless I like create another Gimp file for this one, on this one, and this one as well. But like, it's kind of, I don't know. Finish one tattoo before you close down Gimp is the easiest option in my opinion. But now now again, it looks a lot darker now if I toggle this here. But what happens if I merge it down, take a close look, it will disappear. It will look like before. The reason this happens is because, let's edit this. This mode, the blending option mode replace, doesn't work. I tried normal and merge. These both of them work. They also look a little bit more intense, but they work, right? Let's just use this. I could also, like, I guess, keep it here, and maybe this is the exposure is one tool that I usually use to like make things less colorful, to make it look less like a sticker and more like an actual tattoo. You can, on most fan arts and stuff like, or like images that somebody drew with color, you can go like -1, -2, maybe -3 exposure, and that will make it look more realistic. For the sense of like showing how to make some lines bigger, this can already be enough, right? Just changing nothing here and just changing the mode to merge already does a lot for the thickness of our lines here. Oops, sorry. Yeah. I said okay. And let's put this over here. Put this over here. Yeah. Now we merge this down, press Ctrl-Shift-E for exporting as, then hit double enter. Then this can take a second sometimes until this image opens. And see, it's not saved, the last compression option I used. So that's why I load save settings always. And now it will the correct compression method. Merge this down, press Ctrl-Shift-E, hit double enter. Load save settings, export. Oops, okay. Now, delete these because we make new ones in a second here. Go back in. Open these up. Press Ctrl-Shift-S in Gimp, in Paint.net to save it. Press enter, press yes, press enter. Just make sure this is still the right thing, but for me it stayed this way. So I can always just press enter again. Ctrl-Shift-S, enter, yes, enter. Close this down. Now we can pull this onto the Yabber. Both of these. Done. Now we can pull both of the part binder files onto Yabber as well. Select them, cut them out, paste them in. Let's take a last look at the tattoo to make sure we like see the difference. Lines are pretty thin, very precise. If that's the look you want to go for it. But sometimes it's like hard to see. Like if push comes to shove and like there's still all of this doesn't work, you might have to redraw the lines yourself. Look at that. We have like more colorful lines, I think. Is it? I think it looks a little bit more powerful. I don't know. Again, if this doesn't work, like maybe it wasn't enough for me now, you can always try to to redraw these lines. I did this for some tattoos. Like, let's remove this exposure effect. I did this for some tattoos, but it's like a lot of work. What you want to do is I like the paintbrush hardness point or like 0.75, and then I hit like size 2. The size is like depends on you obviously on the line, but this works well for me. And then I just start to. I could actually use like a size 3 paintbrush here. If I just do some lines here, obviously. I already started to look a little bit stronger here. That's one thing I also got better at over time. Just my mouse work, kind of. How I can redraw these lines. I can even hit like a 3. What you could do is you could just like, if you wanted to, you could leave it as like delicate as this, but like maybe just touch the outsides, like hit the 3 here. It looks really fat now, but like only do it for like major lines, like this one up here or something. I'm doing it fast now. It's not really all that beautiful. Oops. That's why it's kind of either you have a great long line and you don't let go for like a few seconds, or you try to let go often so you can undo things at a time, but then you kind of not, it's not as smooth, you know? Yeah, but you could do something like this. It will take some extra work. That's why I'm saying find good images. Unless you want to work extra. Let's do something else. An example for the back tattoo. I will choose like due to it being mirrored, we have to choose symmetrical things. If we like here on the shoulders, it's fine. We just have 2 02s now on each shoulder. But like on the back, this would really fucking look weird. So the only really option I found for backs is like swords that you can cut down the middle, and they will just be symmetrical on each side, or like maybe wings. Wings will be like a little bit different now because you have to scale them a lot. I'll just choose a sword now. I believe this is Andoriel from Lord of the Rings, like the repaired sword or whatever. I think it's that. Okay, and now we just cut this out. I will choose the right side and flip it, because we need the left side for here, right? It will be here. So we need the left side actually, but I want to choose the right side because it's already darker and will probably make it easier for me. Right? Yo. Okay, let's choose. Now, if I wanted to keep this for some reason, I don't really need to keep it, but like if here I can visualize the difference between select by color and select and fuzzy select. If I hit this here, it will also remove the inside of the sword. If I use the fuzzy select, it will not remove the inside of the sword because it's like closed off by dark lines. So the fuzzy select was not clean enough for my taste here. There's like some stuff that got left over, so we pull up the threshold and try it again. This was too much, obviously. Try 50 or something. Was I at 50 before? I don't know. Okay, this looks... it could be a little bit cleaner. That's what I mean, like... You want to choose the highest possible value to make the cutout as clean as possible. Okay, barely. Like, I was at 50 before, so... Maybe just is what we have to go with. Okay. Like, in the end, these are like singular fucking pixels. They don't matter. Since we won't be seeing them. Also, if you want to select multiple things, you can change this up here, but I use Shift and Control. You can sometimes see how there's like a little plus or minus showing up on my cursor. that is like you can subtract or add to the selection. So right now I have the background selected, so I want to hit plus. So shift and then press here. Now we have another selection. So we could choose a little bit more. Okay. And now if we hit delete again, this got added onto the selection. The opposite would be the case if I invert it, right? If I want to get it like this, and I notice, oh, there's some stuff I don't want to. Now I can hit minus and select this. And then this is not selected anymore, and I can copy and paste it again. And now if I turn off this layer, it's gone. Let's remove this. Now we have this to work with. As I said, choose something symmetrical. If it's nicely symmetrical, the rectangle tool works really nicely. So we just go somewhere here where we think is like the middle, and then just expand it from here. Don't touch the left corner so you don't mess up this line. Let's drag it out. I should make this bigger. Drag it all the way to the corner here. And then grab this line or this edge here. And then we can check how well is it lining up with the other parts of the sword. This looks really, really good for me now. If this, if it's not all that easy to just cut it down the middle with like a rectangular select, you can also just use the free tool and do that way. Let me just select nothing here. I can show it with the free select. So I would wanna find the middle again, like here. And then you see if I hold control, it will also go in these like 15-degree increments. So if I just go down here and hold control, I don't have to make a super straight line. It is just straight by default. And I go out here, and then I make sure I don't cut anything of the sword. I go towards here all the way to the end and hold control again to make a straight line. I go up here. And then this is kind of hard now. I have to find the middle myself here. That's why I just wanted to show it how you would do it if that doesn't really work. Oops. Okay, let's do this again. Let's drag this down here. I hope it's easier to see, because for me it's like quite hard to see actually where the lines are of this rectangular. Select. Go up here. Okay. Now we got this. Now we hit copy paste. Make this layer invisible, and now we just have this. Now we can also like select none. Now we just have this layer to work with, and now we can already hit Shift F for a flip, and then we just click here and we flipped it. Easy peasy. Go back to move and drag this layer onto our workstation, I guess. There's some ugly stuff here. Like you could kind of clean this up if you wanted to. With like this. These are like singular pixels, right? I'm just being a monk right now. I'm just being a monk. I have to do it. Actually, I don't care. It's not my tattoo. I'm just showing it. Okay. Now we just hit Shift R for rotate. Hit -90 degrees. And move it towards here. Again, this is like the top part of our shoulders here. So we want to, at the absolute maximum, have it up here. It needs to be much smaller. And again, we need to look for this kind of, these like connection. Because like that's the point where we wanna be here, and then like 1 or 2 pixels into this like this edge. And what we could also do right now is if you just do it like this, you see through the selection there's like I guess you would have to like select a little bit more than just the down the middle, because now there's like one line of pixels is kind of gone, to be honest. And like either you redraw that now, or you might end up with like a tiny 1 pixel line in between the 2 halves of your sword. But let's just scale this first. We want to keep the aspect ratio now, but I don't want to scale it around the middle, so that's why I will hit shift and not and control, and I guess at the same time. Always depends on how you have this set up. It's like a really, really large sword now. Make it even smaller, I think. Okay. I already lined this up, like maybe I go 1 pixel more up. I guess to fix that, you could always go like more to the middle. If you don't want to redraw that, I can try that. I go really far into the middle, towards the middle of the back. And then it's still pretty big. I want to go a little bit further down. So we hit the M for move, and then we just move it. You can just line it up with this like square where it was before. You can also see down here there's like coordinates. It shows you how far you moved it. So if you keep one line 0, you know you're on the same height. And just move it down here on the same height. Okay. Hit move. It is incredibly bright. It might not look like it. Now, did I just move it? Oh, fuck. Go back. Okay. It might not look like it right now, but it's incredibly, incredibly bright. I will show that in game. That's why we need to use tools like brightness and exposure to make it darker, to make it look more like an actual tattoo would look. So again, we hit merge down, we hit Control Shift E, we hit double enter, load saved settings, export. Do that for every single texture you want to edit. Do this. Oh, fuck, Elden Ring. Get the fuck out of my way. Delete these already. Go back in. Ah, you can see it. It's so bright. If I open this, it's so bright. Control for here, you want to go Control Shift S for save. S. Hit enter. Hit yes. Hit enter again. And then we go back into the other folder here and drag both of them onto Yabber. Now we pick both of these and drag them onto Yabber as well. So we select only the 2 DCX files and cut them out and put them into here. And now we just quickly reload the game. And we see that the sword is bright as fuck. It might not look like that in the video, but for me it's way, way too bright. It literally looks like it looks like what we just did. We just took an image and threw it onto the skin. Also, it's way too thin. It's way too thin. But it's way too thin because I pulled it very high on a texture, so the middle is not there's no gap in the middle. So how we fix that is we can also hit undo twice here for these 2 textures. Now we go in here and we hit the scale. And now we just scale it to be wider. So we don't want to keep aspect ratio. So this has to be unchecked. We want to scale it. We also don't want to do it around center. We want to do it we want to grab it here so it stays here and expands towards here, if that makes any sense. Now we can take this, we can make this really wide, right? So this was the original one. It looked way too bright. I guess I can look at it. Like, looking at it, it could easily be twice as thick. So, kind of like this, maybe. This looks goofy. This is too far. No. This is too far. Maybe go like this. This is like 1.5 or something. And in order to fight this extremely bright look, I will... First things first, I will always go brightness, go minus 127. That's the max we can do. This will probably not be enough in this case. What you can do is to make like black and white images darker, is you can go here and go colorize. And then go... Let's pull it all the way to black. Now it will... Why does it not... Oh, here, preview. Okay. Now this obviously is too dark, but now we can hit like the plus here on the lightness. We could also like... You could also play around with these modes. You could go normal, you could go merge. We could go maybe multiply. Multiply. Makes this... multiply makes the dark spots too dark. So maybe we want to work with merge. This could work. This could look good actually. Could also just leave it on replace. Doesn't really make that big of a difference here. But this only works if you have a black and white image. If there is some color in here, like if for example this one, I wanted to make this darker. But it has color. What it happens here if I do colorize and I just hit black, then it colorizes the red to black, and we don't want that. So if you have color, your only real option is to use exposure and drop down exposure to make it darker, and just play around with these settings here. Maybe try some black level, try some exposure, try some, obviously not replace, but like normal or merge. Try out different things here to make it darker, and also always go back into the game and check how it looks. That's just that's the annoying part, or like not the annoying part. That's the part that eats your time. It's okay. We made this darken a lot wider. Now we can again drop the layer onto here. Okay, and then we just merge this down again. Mid Control Shift E, press double enter, press load save settings, export. Same we do here. Let me back. Don't try. Delete the two TPF files. Double click this. Go Shift Control Shift S. Enter, yes. Enter. Control Shift S, enter, yes, enter. We go back into this folder, drag the TPF onto the Yabber, and we go back into this folder and drop both these part binder files into Yabber. So we have the DCX files again. Cut them out and throw them in. Last look to just have a good comparison. Yeah, it looks way too bright. Okay. Oh, kind of. Okay. Yeah, this looks a lot better in my opinion. It's wider. It looks like an actual sword. It's darker. I would be kind of happy. I actually have a pretty similar tattoo on my actual character that I'm using right now. So I'm actually pretty happy with this. I wanna show of one last trick. Right here. Otherwise, this will just be too long. The recording's already 1.5 hours. And this time I didn't like make as many mistakes, so I can't cut out as much as like yesterday. I wanna talk about what you can do to maybe fix a tattoo that is not really, or like fix a picture. Okay, I'll just open an image here. Let's open this. Open with Gimp. Let's look at 2 pictures here. Where is it? Okay. This one here is an incredibly bad a pick for a tattoo. First of all of it is pretty fucking bright, so it will be a nightmare to color and make it somehow believable. I did this actually because I'm stupid, but it turned out pretty well, but it was like a lot of hours, a good few hours. The issue with this thing here is that if I compare this to this one here, let's rotate this like this. This one looks way better as a tattoo because there's like, it ends like in an angle. It doesn't abruptly end in like one straight line, which makes it look a lot better. Let's compare that to this one. This looks like it could actually be a tattoo. And see what they did? They put the lines at an angle and the lines just slowly fade out. With this tattoo here also, there's not a straight line that ends it all. There's the lines that just fade out. Looks a lot better. This, on the other hand, would look just weird if you just like colorized it and turned it into a tattoo. It just looks weird. Really, really weird. And there's one trick I found that also this here, also a good example. It's pretty similar to the other one, but see how her rope just, they don't show all of her rope and don't pull it all the way down here, right? It doesn't look, this would look shitty, right? But they take it at an angle and let it end here and cut all of that shit out, just so the curves make more sense in a way. I don't know how to explain it, but it would just look super, super weird if you just had this as an edge to your tattoo. And I'm gonna show you a way to fix that. Okay. I won't like really do anything with this image because this will be a lot of work to turn this into a tattoo. We would have to remove the background. We would have to the thing is, like, we have to do some real shit to the exposure. Like this. And then still the white just doesn't really, like, white is not a color you see a lot. Because like it's very finicky in tattoos. You mostly have only like highlights, right? You don't have big spaces that are white. If you were to have a tattoo where something white would appear, they would just leave that out, and then your actual skin would be the literal white part, right? Same goes for the skin color here. That's why it's so hard to just put this on there, because like in a real tattoo they would just leave that out, and just, it's hard to see, but like they don't really do shit here. They don't do much. They just draw the outline. If it's like that type of tattoo, there's the different tattoos, but most of the time, if there's skin color, they don't tattoo color into there, right? They just use your skin as base color. Yeah, but like, you wouldn't see this in tattoos, right? They don't. Maybe I don't have to zoom in here. They don't tattoo color into a space that is supposed to be like skin color anyways. So they just take your skin. At least for like white dudes like me, I don't actually know how it would work for like darker or skinned people. I don't know. I don't know. um, Oops. Oh my god. I hit a bad button. Yeah, but that's why this is such a great tattoo. I said this just a second ago, but like do it again. Because we can just hit the color select, we can just press here, hit delete, hit select, invert, control paste. Now we just have this. And it's just great. We could then try to make the lines like maybe a little bit bigger. This does not work. This does not work. Unless this doesn't really work. To make the line stronger here, we'll just probably use a pencil and make it all black instead of these gray bits. Okay. And see how this just looks so great. It just looks so great. And I just did this while having my cam full screen. It was a little bit stupid. But here essentially, like, right, you just drop it on there so much easier than stuff like that. I had like an insane yapping seizure, I guess. Can you call it that? A yapping session makes more sense. That's why this is really not a good image to use for this type of thing. Firstly, because of the color. Also, there's a line back here, down here. This is much better. See how it's just so much better, so much better. Same goes for this. I will show you though a way how we could make this edge of the picture look much better and turn it into an actual viable tattoo. What I'm going to use for that is some type of, it doesn't have to be a ring, it doesn't have to be a heart. We could use something like, I will be using this one here. You could also use a pure black one, but I like this one because I can put some color into it. You could also use like a circle or something, but this one just works great for me. I use the fuzzy select because I want to keep this white thing here. And now again, we hit shift to add onto this selection, but it could be a little bit cleaner, to be honest. We go 100. Nice, okay. And let's hit plus to also select this. Nice. Now we do select invert to invert our selection, obviously. Go here. Now we can use the bucket. We choose, I would say we choose a dark red. A dark red, something like this, perhaps. The threshold needs to be higher. The threshold can be very high now, since we want all of this to turn red, except for black, which is like the literal opposite. So unless we go 255, we should be fine here. And also, if we want to get some texture in it, we don't have to use... Oh, we are using multiply right now. I can show the difference now. If I use just normal... Oops. I guess it's selected the black stuff before. Oops, oh my lord, I accidentally selected this color. Okay, so we go down here, we go 150. If I press this here, there's like one singular color. There's no depth, there's no texture here. That's why we use multiply to like recolor stuff. Now we have something going on here. Looks more natural. Okay. Now what we do is we drag this onto here and we use this to fix this line down here. It's kind of annoying right now. I should probably do something to make it look a little bit better. Oops, I want to select this. See, that's what I mean. Like, this is such a horrible image to use because, like, her skin and her hair is so bright that you have to, like, go with a really low threshold, and it will still try to remove some of the skin, just for the background to get. Yeah, see that? That's why this image is so horrible. Okay, now it works. And what we do now is we also, with plus, with shift, we add onto these, onto the selection, remove that. And now you could, I guess, technically even use this. This is also not... this one down here doesn't matter, but... I guess you could use it. You could use it if you just turn down the... Now we want to invert. Okay. If we were to... Like, this could actually work now. If I just turn down the exposure, if I go normal or something and go exposure like -3, this could work as a tattoo. And then our only... other problem would be this this edge down here. Where is it? Where's the heart? What is this? Did I not pull the heart on here? Is it gone? Why is it gone? Okay, now it's here. Maybe it was some stuff because of the selection. Doesn't matter. Select none. Now we just drag the heart. We could scale this down, to be honest. Scale it down. It will be a lot smaller. What is happening? What is this? Oh, we need to probably merge this down. Merge this down, the exposure. Otherwise it will kind of like not work with the scaling. If you don't want it to scale down and instead want to go beyond the borders, you would have to go to image and increase the canvas size by a shit ton. We go increase the canvas size by a lot. Oh, I needed to, fuck, okay, cancel. Image, canvas size, and then make sure this is selected so the aspect ratio kind of stays the same, so it goes in both directions at the same time. Make it bigger, and then hit center and then resize. Okay, now we have some space to work with. We go select, we hit the heart, and position it kind of in the middle of her. And then we just... Now I have to make this a lot bigger, the heart. That's why I would usually recommend the other thing. If you know, like if I pull this on here, right? It is huge, most likely. Yeah, look how big this is. I need to like scale it down a shit ton here anyways, like this size or something. That's even still way too big. So, it doesn't matter if you have to scale this down here, is what I want to say. Okay, the exposure is still merged. Let's scale it down by a lot. And now we don't have to scale the heart that much. And we want to just kind of position this in the middle. And then we want to scale the heart and make it bigger. Make it around center and keep the aspect ratio for now. And just kind of always position it in the middle and then go back to scaling it. This could be enough already. This is enough, in fact. What we are looking for is these teeny tiny gaps between the actual image and the heart. This enables the thing I want to do. It's like a really basic trick, but it elevates a picture like this so much. I could pull this on here just to make the comparison later on. So let's say we wanted to have this on like the leg, the lower part behind, like this. But you can see it looks goofy because it just ends here. Like, what is there? Why does it end? Right? Okay. Let's compare this in like a few minutes with what I'm doing here. You can maybe guess it already. But what I'm trying to do is I want to smooth out the edges. And just... The way I'm doing this, I really like this method. Actually, the colorize wasn't really that clean because there's like a lot of red spots outside of the black, but I highly doubt we will see any of that once it's scaled down onto the actual skin texture. So now we want to hit the free select tool and we want to be on the hard layer. Again, you could use anything that is like, it doesn't even need to be round. You could make like a square, but like turn it 45 degrees. How's that called? I don't know. And what we want to do is we want to be exactly where this gap is. And we just click here. And then we hit Control, so it's just in a straight line. This will be easier for later. And then we go all around the heart. And go back in somewhere. Maybe here. Maybe here. I want to use the... I guess we could try to make it diagonally. It will be like maybe a little bit harder later. And then we just connect this. Okay. So it looks like this. We go through the sides where the gap is between the actual, like between where the body is and the gap, and then, oh my god, sorry, the heart. And then with Control and copy. Did it just move? Why the fuck did it move, man? I think that's just a weird thing that happens when you have the images. No, it literally moved. Oh, I know why. Because I went outside of this like little boundary, I think. So let's just redo it. Doesn't matter. Whoops. Why can't I do shit? Okay. So we go in here. We do not go outside of the boundary, because that will move the actual selection later on. Did I want to go like this? Optimally is when you find the shortest distance, where it's the thinnest, and straight is always good because you have like only one line of pixels. That's get fucked up. That get kind of gets fucked up. So we connect this now. Now we do copy paste. Now it doesn't move. Okay. Now we have this, right? And we go down here to the heart layer, and now we actually hit delete. And now what we can do is we can take the top part of the heart, this layer, and we can drag it behind the image of our tattoo. And now look at that. This already looks like, not gonna lie, I think this looks 10 times better than before, just by adding this little detail. And the actual good part that fixes down here just comes now. We're gonna use this as a new edge for our tattoo. So we go select none. And what we're going to do now, it's going to be like a little bit difficult, maybe. Actually, no. The thing is, we want to stand in between these, like be in between these. Oh, only yeah. Now we can see how this, like one line of pixels gets fucked up, but we can fix that later on. Also, you won't see that when you scale it down to be on the actual texture. And now we can just. I'm debating on if I wanna change the canvas size again. Just, oops. So now we don't have these boundaries anymore for our, like now this little heart layer is not just this little layer, but it's big now. We can do that now because we don't have to do any scaling anymore. And now we want to hit the free select tool again and be on this tattoo layer. And now what we can do is we can go through here and make sure we are like in the middle of the heart that hides her body. Go out here, doesn't matter. Just at least we want to get all of this. And now if we hit delete, bam. I think this looks a lot better and a lot more like an actual tattoo would look like. Where do these black lines come from? I don't know. Now we can merge this down and try to fix this. Maybe you try like the paintbrush or something. Paintbrush is a very delicate tool. You cannot really break a lot of shit there. What the hell? Oh yeah, the size. 533 is maybe a little bit too high. And now we can just kind of... Again, you don't have to do this. It's just like my inner monk somehow tells me you have to do this. Because it's like not perfect if I don't do it. Could probably also just use the smudge tool. Oops. Did I not change smudge? And just kind of smudge the color into the transparent squares, pixels. Okay. Or again, we just use the paintbrush and just again control. Whenever you have this tool selected and you hit control, you can left click to like pick this color. So you can also just always just pick the color from here and then just pull it in. Whoops. Just redo that. Go here. Go here. Okay. Need some red. And some red here. And then I guess it's still there. And I guess I can smudge. Smudge. Okay, good enough. And now let's compare this to the image we had before. And see, respectfully, how much better this looks. That's too small probably. Oops, I don't want to do that. I just want to hit move. Okay, let's kind of line this up to be like roughly the same. It could be a little bit smaller. Okay, now it's roughly the same. Okay, look at this. It looks weird. It's just a clean, like perfectly 90-degree angle where it just ends. Doesn't look good. Doesn't look like a tattoo. I don't think anybody would ever tattoo this. I don't know. Not a pro. I just have a few tattoos, and I see a lot of tattoos on Instagram, and I wouldn't. I don't see stuff like this. But compared to this, man, it's maybe not the most original, but it elevates the base picture we had so much. Okay, we are at 2 hours. I will show you how to remove a tattoo as final part of my guide. Let's try to remove this tattoo. Although I really like it, I will just use it to show you how to remove a tattoo. The thing is now, now I can still like do that. I can undo all these steps. But if I were to also make sure this is your workspace for all of your tattoos. Also make always sure to save that. I saved that one time at the beginning, right? Here tutorial. This is this file. So I can just hit save. And then I close down. This card changes for all of them when I'm done. Now delete this. If I were to open these up in Gimp again, I will not be able to undo the merging of the layers. Unless you... Another option is you could save these files as a Gimp file as well. And then when you edit it to, you merge all of it down. Then you export it. And then before closing down Gimp, you would undo all of the merging. So it looks like this. But respectfully, I think that's a little bit, I don't know, it's making it too difficult. This just is a little bit of work and it works. Okay. Let's try to, actually, I don't have to do it for this one because only run around with this texture in this tutorial anyways. So I open this now again with Gimp. Open. And now it comes in really, really handy that we have this safety. That's why I say set make a copy. We open this in Gimp as well. And always, you know, map maps and open. Whoops, I didn't mean to grab that. I mean to grab that. Okay. Now we have our workstation right here. Our actual skin texture that gets used later. That has a tattoo, and we cannot undo this. And we have this. This is not scaled because I copied it before I scaled it, but I can just quickly scale it. You can also just scale it up and then copy it, so you don't have to do this. Okay. Probably scale it up, like copy it, then scale it, see if it works, and then copy the scaled version again. So I have two copies. One of the original one that is 1024 times 1024, and then you have one copy that is 2048 times 2048. Now, how we want to remove this tattoo, I'll show you right now. Is let's imagine we want to make this like precise. Let's imagine we have tattoos around here. So maybe it was a little bit close, but it will work out. Maybe we have some tattoos here, like here. We have some tattoos. Okay. And how we precisely just get this part replaced is we hit the free select and let's try to select it as precise as possible. Obviously now we see the other tattoos, so we don't have to hit them. And we don't cut out anything of the tattoos. Now we hit copy, paste. Thank God I have my copy, my keyboard overlaid. But I'm still saying it, so it doesn't really matter. Now, just the same process as when we are like transferring these tattoos onto the actual texture files. We take this and drop it onto our copy texture, our base texture that we use to remove this. Now we select this actual layer, and now we do the exact same thing. We try to do this as closely as possible. Maybe this was a little bit too close. We try to do it this way. You could also, an even easier way would actually be, just like thinking about it, you can just do this. Like cut out some of your tattoos that you have on there that you want to save, then drop it on here. Bam. We go onto this layer, and now we can even easier just make sure we don't hit any of the other tattoos. And since we have, now we just copy and paste again, and since we were on this layer down here, we didn't select the tattoo that is up here, but we selected the clean layer. And now if I take this layer and drag it on top of the tattoo layer, boom, it's just removed. Now, same step, we just take this, a clean piece of texture, and just drag it onto here. Now we could merge all of this down, we could also delete this, doesn't matter. But now we merge this down. I do want to remove all of the shitty painting stuff I did here. Let me merge this down, see if I make it invisible, the tattoo is here. It's like, and since it's like the exact same image, you can't really see that there's like a patch on there, so to say. Then we merge this down. Now we were to go export as, double enter, save settings, export. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Now if we do that, we open it in Paint again, we save it again with the right compression methods. And now, this is the process of how you remove singular tattoos if you grow annoyed by them. Is that how you said it? And since you always keep this GIMP file with all of your tattoos, you can easily start over. I would just close this down now because I exported it anyways. We don't need to make an extra GIMP file for that. And here also just discard changes. This is the what you can also do, I forgot about that. You can hit right click here, properties, and make it read only. And now we can still open it in GIMP. Open. We can still open it in GIMP. We can still take our patches of skin here and drop them onto here. I guess, oops, that was not what I meant to do. But now if we tried to export this by accident, by I don't know, you accidentally export the wrong thing and you almost butcher your basic like vanilla texture that you always want to keep like that as a backup. We get this error message because it's read only and we can't export to this file. So yeah, do that. Create a copy, make it read only, and that way you are always safe to have your backup. And I think this actually like concludes the tutorial. For now, it's a little bit faster than what I recorded yesterday. Yesterday the recording was 3 hours long. Now it's at 2 hours and 10 minutes roughly. But to be fair, yesterday my fucking PC died at a blue screen. I don't know. That was some weird shit that was happening. Yeah, but I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. I showed like a little bit of tattoo stuff. I didn't want to do too many tattoos here because it's like all of them are kind of unique with what you have to do and you have to kind of figure it out yourself. I just yeah, made sure you know the basics now of how to do this, I guess. Yeah, it's a very niche thing. It will probably be like useful to like 1 or 2 people out there on the internet, but I just feel like there's no video out there. So why did nobody talk about this? I think this is a cool theme. It's a dark fantasy game. There should be tattoos. There's tattoos, just only for the face, but that's kind of boring, no? Yeah, I think Lords of the Fallen has tattoos. That's probably the only thing better in Lords of the Fallen compared to Elden Ring. No hate, but yeah. Yeah, but they have tattoos, and I think dark fantasy games, is it dark fantasy? I guess I would consider dark fantasy. Maybe they should have tattoos. They don't give us the option, so I wanted to do it anyways. There was no videos. Now there's a video by me. I hope this is useful to like at least some people. Maybe it's interesting for some other people. I don't know. I just wanted to do it. I don't know why, but I just was kind of upset that there's no video about it. Now there's one. I said the same thing like 15 times in a row now. I don't know what to say, man. Bye-bye. I don't have an outro. Bye.